Thank you. What a pleasure it is to be here. There is an irony in the title of my talk, Data-Driven Decision-Making, and I wonder what you think I'm going to talk about. I've spent most of my career in management education, and for years, honestly, embarrassingly long, a significant part of my job has been making the case for data-driven decision-making, arguing the evidence matters and it's worth looking at. But I am not making that case today. I don't have to make it anymore. AI has decisively made it for me. Every time an AI tool is deployed, a sophisticated medical diagnosis or Google Maps helping you choose the fastest route out for dinner, you are using heavy-duty data analysis to drive your decision-making. It's so normalized that we don't even notice it now. And the productivity promise that I kept talking about to business leaders, to students, to everyone who would listen, is now very clear. Only a few years ago, Stanford and MIT scientists ran a large field experiment looking at more than 1,000 customer service workers and showing AI assistance was lifting their productivity by 14 to 15%. And the biggest gains weren't for the best workers, the biggest gains were for the least experienced workers. AI was acting as a leveler, giving junior people access to the experience that used to take years to build. In medicine, we've got AI diagnostic tools that are dramatically changing the rates at which we can find and then treat many different conditions. I used to be a champion of data-driven decision-making, but it doesn't need me now. AI can make really good decisions, often better than we do. But there is still a problem. AI is so good that we adopted it widely, quickly, rightly. Decisions that used to require a person, a caseworker or a loan officer, someone at the front line, started happening inside systems. We've all become really used to getting fast results, a quick answer, and AI can do that consistently and at scale. And that's happened and has shifted something inside organisations and governments that's quite easy to overlook. The shift is that authority has moved. The power to decide has migrated upwards and inwards. It's migrated into models, and it's into the small team who design and control them. It's migrated away from the front line, from the people who know the customer and the patient, away from people who know things that don't appear in any data set. And this is one of the most profound shifts in decision-making in our lifetimes. It's not about data-driven decision-making anymore. It's about how we take responsibility for decisions. And very few organisations have shifted with it. Here's where a new piece of research should worry every leader in the room. A very recent study from the Wharton School have published a study on cognitive surrender. They ran 10,000 trials with about 13,000 participants. What did they find? When AI is available, many people stop thinking critically at all. They adopt AI outputs with minimal scrutiny, and they override their own intuition and judgment. Participants who have high trust for AI have 3.5 times higher odds of following AI advice, even when it was deliberately made obviously wrong. Think about what that means. It means that when authority shifts within a system, it doesn't just take decisions away from the front line, it also takes critical judgment away too. People stop questioning and they defer. AI adoption is combining authority drift with cognitive surrender. When decisions move into systems, two things get left behind: accountability and context. Context is that specific knowledge that lives close to the work. The caseworker who knows the neighbourhood, the nurse who knows that this patient understates their symptoms when they're anxious. That knowledge is pretty hard to put into models. It doesn't often live easily in the data sets that we're using. And when the people who hold it lose their authority to act on it because the system has already decided, then that important context disappears from the decision entirely. So let me give you a clear example at a government level. In Australia, the government ran a program called Robo-Debt, and I apologise, Mr. Morrison, about this example. But it's a good one. The idea was straightforward: automatically cross-check welfare payments against income tax. Use the data. Be efficient. Scale it up. It seemed like a data-driven decision-making example that I would have taught, right? And it was. It was a really good idea. The problem was the model had a flaw. The maths was just a bit wrong. And because it was automated, the wrong equations ran at scale. Experienced welfare caseworkers would probably have spotted this in a week if they'd seen it one-to-one with their clients, because they know how their clients actually live, and they would have spotted that there was a mistake somewhere. The knowledge did exist, it just wasn't in the room anymore. The system had replaced the people who held the knowledge. And so the system sent out hundreds of debt notices, or hundreds of thousands of debt notices, actually, I should say, to people who didn't owe money, who were told they did, and who had to prove that they didn't. And some fought the system for years, while others gave up and just paid. This actually wasn't a technology failure, and it wasn't a bad idea, but it was a failure of accountability design. When it went wrong, no one could answer for it. Officials pointed to the model, ministers pointed to the process, but the system decided is not accountability. It's what accountability sounds like when it's been abandoned. And of course, this is not unique to Australia. Versions of Robo-Debt are playing out right now in organisations and governments all across the world at different scales. Now, I'm not so concerned that models have errors. Life is full of errors. Models will always have errors. The problem comes when there's no one around who notices them and can fix them. At Melbourne Business School, we're doing research investigating some of these issues, and a colleague of mine, Professor Nicole Gillespie's run multi-country studies with more than 48,000 people on how people form and lose trust in AI systems. Surprise, surprise, trust does not reside in algorithms. It attaches to institutions, to leaders, fundamentally to people. When an algorithm fails, the public doesn't blame the software. They blame the organisation that deployed it. And the single factor that most reliably sustains trust is visible human oversight. Not a line in a policy, but oversight that is real and can be seen. People will accept AI making decisions. What they won't accept is no one who's answerable for them. Our data shows that Australians are still less trusting of AI than similar countries, and Robo-Debt is one of the reasons. That's the cost of this accountability gap, an ongoing reputational erosion of public belief that institutions are working in their best interests. My old job of persuading people to use data is pretty much complete, but it's not any good swapping unthinking data skepticism for unthinking AI adoption. Data and automated decisions are a great tool, but a poor master. So I want to leave you with two things that I suggest you go away and do. First, name the person. Every important AI decision in your organisation should have a person who is responsible for the output. Not a team, not a committee, dear Lord, not a committee. No, an actual person who can stand up and say, we made the call, this is what it produced, and I will take responsibility for it. If you can't name a person now, you've got a gap, and you need to find it before something else does. Second, protect the override. Your people have to have real authority to override what's happening. If the answer is, I think this is getting it wrong, and you don't have the ability to override it, then something's wrong. AI can make the decision, only a person can answer for it. We are in two races right now. The race to build AI capability, and I've spent my life on improving the quality of those models. I'm excited about it, it's real and it matters, but there's a second race. That race is to make sure that when AI takes on decisions, the humans running our organisations remain genuinely accountable. These two races are not in conflict. You can win both, but only if you run both. Thank you.